Rory, is Dave as people say he is? Dave. Alright everyone, how's it going? My name is Rory McLean, aka Crash Cup Noise Guy. This is a quick follow-up video to the vid I shot last week where I just asked if there was any questions I could answer. I've got to be honest, I was pretty nervous about putting that video up, but there's been some really cool comments and some pretty good questions. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for making me feel welcome and getting involved. If I have 4 pencils and you have 7 apples, how many pancakes will fit on the roof? So I guess you put 4 pencils. So I want to try and answer as many questions as possible with this, but the reaction was actually better than I kind of expected, and it's going to be a bit tricky to answer all of them. So what I've done is shortlisted a couple of questions which kind of cross over and repeat questions that other people have answered. So if your question isn't involved in this, you should at least get an answer. And then right at the end of the video, I'm going to log into YouTube and just scroll through all the comments and check there's none that I've missed that might be interesting to include. So I'll try and get them all in as best as I can. So yeah, let's go. So Hollywood Actress has said, a few questions, apologies if they've been covered in the comments below. What's Rob like off screen, and also Revere and Lee? Are they as chilled and cool or a real diva? They are as chilled and cool. They're completely the same off camera as they are on. So yeah, chilled and cool. Why did you choose the Rob Scallon model, or did you just grab the first Chapman you saw? So there was a choice of a Captain America, a Hot Rod, and then the 2 Rob Scallon signatures. And I hadn't had a chance to properly sit down and play the 6 string. I'd had a quick noodle on the 8 a few days before, but yeah, I just saw the 6 string and I thought, I'll give that a go. Rory, if you were a fish, would you rather live in Rob's kitchen sink or Rob's bathroom sink? Any chance you can tell us what vids are in the mighty pipeline at the moment? Smiley face. I can't tell you what's in the pipeline, that would be saying too much. I can tell you that there's some cool stuff coming. And if I was a fish, I would definitely choose the kitchen sink, because that's where Rob pours away his coffee, so I could still drink coffee even though I was a fish. 4 pencils. I don't play guitar but still watch the videos, especially the Andertons stuff for the comedy. Question: how do you find and choose the comedic moments in the videos that you emphasise, and how much do you think about pacing when editing? That's a good question. I think choosing comedic moments, again, it kind of falls down to what the footage is, what the style of the video is, what the purpose of it is, but with the Andertons stuff, I choose moments where there's nothing going on or where there's everything going on, and it kind of, you know, if there's everything going on and you add a stupid little thing in, it just adds to the chaos and like can be kind of funny. A good example of when there's nothing going on is, from memory, I think the part 2 of the camper video, there was a bit, about a third of the way in, there's a bit where Lee's playing and Rob's just sat listening really intently to Lee's playing, and I cut away from the B cam to the A cam, and because they were both sat off to the side of the screen, there was this big empty space. And with Rob's posture, I don't really know why, it was pretty random, but I found an image of like a Greek mythological statue doing the same thing, and I just cut that in, and then cut away from that camera really quick, and then cut back, and it was at a point where they talked a bit, they played a bit, but in terms of the pacing, it hadn't really picked up, there was no dynamic happening, so I just dropped it in because it was funny. And then pacing throughout the videos and editing, I guess I think about it, but I think about it kind of subconsciously now because I spend all my time editing. I've just got to the point where it's working in the background like a robot. But I guess actually I do think about it quite a lot, and I think there's a kind of, I'd say like a 2-3 minute like attention span where you want something to have picked up or changed or just something to have happened within a 2-3 minute window in order to kind of keep the video rolling and entertaining. Again though, completely depends on the type of video, so that's not gospel. What is your favourite Chapman guitar and what changes would you make to it? Any other guitars you like? So purely because I own one, my favourite Chapman would have to be the ML1 Hot Rod. And any changes I'd make, I have actually just swapped out the pickup. This is a House of Tone 4-5 split single. And yeah, I love this guitar, kind of completely different to everything else I own. And on that front, any other guitars I like, this is my favourite guitar. This is a Teisco ET460, 1968, all original parts. It's completely beaten up. It doesn't sound particularly amazing, but I don't really mind that. I always kind of work on the basis that you can enhance your sound through your pedal board, which I'm working on. But yeah, in terms of other guitars I like, this is absolutely my favourite guitar. What software you use for editing? So I use Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro, depending on the project I'm working on. Most of the stuff I do in Final Cut Pro is just a lot, the user interface is a lot quicker and easier, but Premiere Pro, if you're doing stuff like music videos or something, you can do a bit more with, although it's harder to do. So yeah, Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. 7 apples. People commenting seem very excited about this video editing / moderately talented guitarist guy. I know, man, it's mental. Pipe down, you lot, especially you lot, Turtle. So if you do all the editing for Rob, does Rob or Lee have a sort of brand bible? Other than jokey additions, is there something specific you try to add or take away from the videos? There's no brand bible at all, really. I think the beauty of the Chappers and Captain video is that they're quite honest and kind of known for being so. So if they like something, they'll say. If they don't, then they'll say. And yeah, there's no real brand bible to follow. And then in terms of anything to add or take away from the videos, I just try and make sure it flows well and it's kind of entertaining to watch. And when I start to get bored or I see an opportunity to do something funny, then I'll do my best to do that. How much video footage do you start with to make a 6 to 10 minute video that is worthy for upload? So this completely varies, to be honest. It kind of depends on the style of the video, who's shot the video, what the video's for. But generally, I don't think there is a general question to that. It's kind of, it completely depends. Do you know how to use a banana? It completely depends. Yep. So this is pretty simple if you guys don't know. You just want to peel the outside skin off, throw the middle bit away, put that skin on a pavement and set up a camera and just wait for hilarity to ensue. I want to know your dream rig. 1 guitar, 1 pedal, 1 amp. So 1 guitar, as I've just said, my favourite guitar is the Teisco ET460. I'd definitely stick with that. 1 pedal, although I don't own one, if I had only 1 pedal, I'd probably go with the Line 6 DL4. I'm a big fan of loop pedals and that has great loop function built into it. And then yeah, just the scope of delays. I think if I had to stick with 1 pedal, it would be that. And then 1 amp, I don't really know. I guess just because they're great, probably a V40. It's a great like all-round sound. And again, if I had to stick with 1 amp for ages, then I'd go with that. Carry the tile. That's gonna be heavy. Friends involved, he'll probably eat an apple, which gives you 6 apples. On average, how much time in hours do you spend editing a video? So my general rule of thumb, although this completely fluctuates, is that on average I spend 4 times the amount of the raw footage time actually editing the video. That goes up and down again depending on the video and how well it's been shot, how well the person presenting it has presented it, blah blah blah. But yeah, an average answer would be 4 times the amount of the raw footage. So if it's an hour, I'll spend 4 hours editing. When did you figure out you can edit silly things in the video and get away with it? So I remember this moment exactly. I remember the day like quite vividly. That was the Miku Stomp pedal video, and I'd been editing it all day, and there was so many stupid sounds throughout the video. I couldn't help but want to make a song out of all the stupid noises. And originally I just did it to kind of entertain myself. I like made a little beat in Logic, imported it into Final Cut, and arranged this stupid song with all the noises. And it ended up staying in, and I texted the guys after I'd uploaded it, and I was like, if that needs to come out, let me know. And everyone really enjoyed it. So it was that point where I was like, maybe I can get away with more of this. So yeah, that was fun. Where did your peculiar playing style come from? It came from outer space. No, so I started actually on bass guitar. Any music lessons I've had have been on bass, and obviously the theory of bass translates pretty well to guitar, but I think starting out on bass has affected the way I play guitar. And also when I was younger, I made a very conscious decision to try and sound different, and I'd write as much as possible, just get everything out, and then whittle it down to the things that didn't remind me of anything else. On top of just discovering like some cool scales, like the harmonic minor, I play in that a lot. Phrygian as well. When I found that, I was just like, this is cool. And yeah, my kind of note choice and scale choice, I think, affected the way I play as well. Do you do it in one go or go back to it before you finalise it for release? That's a very good question. If possible, I'll always take a break, like do the bulk of the work, go and do something completely different, reset my brain, come back and kind of re-watch what I've done, and then make any final tweaks. I think that's good to do generally if you're doing anything creative, like songwriting or you're sketching or video editing, whatever it is. I think that's a good rule. Sometimes it's not always possible. A lot of the videos I do are kind of deadlined, so there's not always time to do that, but if I can, then I definitely do, yeah. Why no mic? Audio quality is bad. So Rob's obviously just moved house, and everything is kind of still being set up there, and yeah, just didn't have a chance to set the mic up. I'm sure it will happen soon, and I know I get it as much as you guys do. I appreciate like audio quality. There is a kind of beauty though, I think, in like just setting up a camera and going for it as well. So, but yeah, apologies for the audio in that last one, and we'll get that sorted. Hey Rory, are you responsible for the rabbit infestation on this channel over the past few years? No, that was Rob. I'd love to claim that, but that was definitely Rob. Hell yeah! Hey Rory, what tips do you have for building a snow shark large enough to sit on? So this is from Alex Garnham, who is an old friend of mine. Hey Alex, we were bandmates and housemates a few years ago. Well, actually quite a while ago now. But I'd been round to the house before I moved in. I'd gone round. It was during the winter leading up to Christmas. Had a couple of drinks, and then it tipped down with snow, and I ended up not being able to walk home. So stayed the night, woke up a bit hungover, and made breakfast, and there was a big garden just full of snow, and I felt awful, but I was like, I can't not go and build a massive snow shark. So I went and built a life-size snow shark, and that's what Alex is talking about. I'll try. There is some photos of it somewhere. I don't know if I'll be able to find one, but if I can, I'll stick one up. I love I love your unique playing style. Who are some of your musical influences? Which influenced your playing style the most? So, when I was starting out playing guitar, I think the first conscious influence that I had, where I knew that someone was influencing the way I was playing, was Matt Bellamy from Muse. Old school Muse I'm talking about. I'm not a massive fan of them now, but Origin and Symmetry and kind of stuff before or around that era. So yeah, Matt Bellamy, definitely influenced the way I started playing when I first started out. And then I discovered a band called The Locust, who, if you guys have heard of them, you'll know they're not for everyone's taste. They're completely off the wall bonkers. But they influenced the way I thought about music, because the creative output from the band was just so impressive. And yeah, I just wanted to reverse engineer their music and work out how they could get to that point, like how you can write a song that's so mental, but is still a song. And they're incredibly musical as well. They're full on, but I think if you can get past that, the music is really good. So they definitely influenced me. Question on making and editing vids. How the hell do you get vid in vids so you can have two guitar parts playing at the same time? Thanks, nice to see the guy behind the magic. So I think if I understand you correctly, what you're on about here is a split screen where you're getting two bits of guitar footage sat next to each other, and all that's going on there is pre-recorded audio, so an audio of the track that's being played, and then two separate shots of the guitar parts. So it'll literally be camera on, play the first part, camera off, camera on, play the second part, camera off. And then when you're editing, you just mask those next to each other, or lay them next to each other, or over the top of each other, or whatever you want to do. And you've got the audio in the background, so you can hear both parts, and you're seeing both parts individually. Do you storyboard anything, or just go with it, getting input from Rob and others in the video? So the Andertons videos, there's no need to storyboard them. I just watch them through, get a vibe for the video, pick out any bits where it's obvious that needs to be taken out, or look for opportunities to add stuff in. But the first time round, I literally just watch it all through, so that mentally, when I start editing at the start of the video, I know what's coming up and I know what's covered, or just what's going on in the video. So yeah, I don't storyboard those. I'd love to get into doing some more music videos, and I guess you'd storyboard that sort of thing, but generally the bulk of the stuff I've done so far, there's no need, really. Did you edit the USA documentary too? How long does it take for you to edit, let's say, a 25 to 30 minute video? I did do the USA documentary too. I was lucky enough to actually go out. I was on that tour, which was an awesome experience and very privileged to have been involved in. And then yeah, when we got back, I got all the footage and put that together. I had some other things going on in my life that I won't go into now, but it made it a little tricky to sit down and fully concentrate on the documentary in a way that I'd like. But I'm kind of happy with how it turned out, considering. And it was a lot of fun to do. And how long does it take for you to edit, let's say, a 25 to 30 minute video? So like I say, my general rule of thumb is it will take 4 times the amount of the raw footage, but that can fluctuate massively up and down. I think on average, if a video ends out at about 25 to 30 minutes, you'd probably cut out about 10-15 minutes, so maybe 2 hours, just over. What's been your hardest video project and why? So I was thinking about this earlier. I don't know if I have one. I enjoy editing videos so much, and part of what I enjoy is kind of getting around the tricky parts and making a video that's a complete shambles into a good video. Not that happens often, but I really enjoy that. So I can't actually think of the hardest video because I've enjoyed them all and nothing really sticks out. Any tips for those who want to start out in editing? My biggest tip, if you want to start out, is just to crack on with it, and as with all things in life, have fun with it. And I think it's the best way to learn, is just to kind of get some free editing software. There's several available. Just shoot footage of whatever and start playing around, and you'll build up your own techniques and tricks and your own style of editing very quickly, and it is incredibly fun. I love it. I love editing. So yeah, I'm sure you guys will as well. And if you want to start out, then I'd just crack on. How many pancakes? Couple of questions. If I would buy my first electric guitar, how should I buy it? Internet, physical, store, used? Which one to buy on a really tight budget? Max around $200 for a guitar and a combo amp. P.S. I would use it for both, for picking and chords. So I think if you're looking for your first electric guitar, I guess you're in the States, given that you've said dollars here. I'm not quite sure how Craigslist works, but I think it's similar to what we have in the UK called Gumtree. It's like a online advertising site. I would recommend looking on there because you may be able to find something second-hand that's also local, and you can go and try it out before you buy it. And yeah, for second-hand you'll find some good deals. I'd recommend probably like a Strat copy, something like that, because it will be quite versatile. And there's lots of them around, and you'll probably find a combo amp around that sort of price as well. So good luck, I hope you find something. Are we talking Scotch or American here? Because that's a pretty big difference. How did you learn video editing? Any tips or resources for a complete beginner? So I learned just by doing it, really. I've always messed around for years and years. I've messed around in editing software and just kind of playing around. It's like I was saying earlier, I just messed around and, you know, tried to figure it out for myself. And then when I started working for Rob, I was obviously doing it more and more. And there was also a bit of pressure to make sure it was good because I knew it was going up online. So yeah, I maybe watched a few tutorials on YouTube or, you know, lynda.com or that sort of thing. But for the most part, I just had a go and kept going, and I enjoyed it. So yeah. Have you ever seen Rob get angry? Genuinely, not once, ever. And I've seen him at times where you could be justified getting angry, and yeah, I've never seen Rob get angry. It's one of the many reasons I love him. So we've got, so that's the roof. Pancakes are circle, so are apples. Go on then, tell us why they call you Diz. Circle, important. We've got an old friend of ours called Paul, who a few of us lived with in Guildford before we all moved to Brighton, and he used to call me Raw Diz. And then me, Dave, Matt and Beer were in a band called Scratch Latin a few years ago, and we did a tour around Europe, and I was the only one who didn't drive, so any opportunity to sleep, I'd make sure that everyone else could sleep, so that whoever was driving the van wasn't doing it on no sleep. And towards the end of the tour, we pulled into a service station in Germany, and I hadn't slept for about 3 days, like literally maybe an hour or two sleep for 3 days. We pulled into the service station. I stayed in the van to try and get some sleep, and the guys went in to get some food and coffee. And I couldn't fall asleep. Eventually I followed them in, and right before we left, I was there with my head in my hands at this table, and Dave had just had a coffee, completely wired up, and he was like, right, should we go? And everyone was like, yeah, sweet, let's go. And I was there like this, and he went, Diz? And I looked up and just nodded, and that's kind of, from that point on, that's when it became my nickname. So we've got important circles, 4 pencils. This comment was left 3 days ago, and 2 people liked it. Do you like coffee as much as Rob does? Also, what is good exercise for learning scale positions and basic major minor riffs? So I'm pretty sure I like coffee as much as Rob does. I think in general, anytime either of us see each other, our first question from either of us is, do you want a coffee? I love coffee. What is a good exercise for learning scale positions and basic major minor riffs? So basic major minor riffs, I think if you're learning other people's riffs, then the best way to do that is just to learn those, find some tabs, slow them down, and yeah, just kind of learn them that way. If you're looking to write major and minor riffs, I'd stick, for basic, like very simple ones, I'd stick within the octave shape of the major and minor scale, and then just play around, stick a metronome on again, like really slow, and mess around just rearranging the notes and getting creative with it. And a good exercise for learning scale positions, I think the best thing would probably be to learn the pentatonic shapes across the neck. If you can get the major and minor down at those are obviously the fundamental notes of any scale. So once you've got those down, it shouldn't be too hard to make the next leap to kind of applying modes and other scales over the top of that. So yeah, I'd say pentatonic scales across the neck. How long have you been playing guitar? So I started, like I say, I started out on bass, and I started on bass when I was 13. And when I was 14, I bought my first guitar, which I just kind of messed around on the side of playing bass. So kind of 14, 15 years. There's Dave. Hey man.
Morning.
How's it going?
Again.
Yeah, good.
You answered that really quickly.
Yeah, it's because, just so you know, the camera's set up and I'm recording a video for Rob's channel, so you are currently on YouTube.
Oh. Oh, hi YouTube. I was just seeing what you're up to later. Pizza.
Yeah.
Bye YouTube.
Bye Dave. Do you write original music? If so, please share. I quite like your playing. Thank you, dude. I do. I kind of, to be honest, I write music all the time, and it's a bit silly that I haven't done more with it recently. I purposely didn't mention my own channel in the last video because I didn't want it to seem like a kind of self-promotional thing, but I do have my own YouTube channel and I'm going to be releasing some original music on that, so if you want to come and hang out with me there, then search for Rory McLean, and yeah, hopefully very soon I'll have some music up on there. Rory MC Lean is my rapper name. Mine too. Is Scratch Latin ever coming back? So we'd love it to, and it's something that over the last couple of years all of us have kind of mentioned at times, and I'm sure it will do at some point, just not quite sure when. But yeah, at some point it will do. I've also just got an email. Do you like pie? I could make you some, smiley face. Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Rory, one simple request, never ditch the cup shattering gag. Ever. Cheers from California. Alright Conan, as is you, I promise. Okay, so as I say, I had to shortlist a couple of the questions and kind of pick the ones that I think would give the kind of broadest answer, but I'm just going to quickly flick through the video now, see if there's any comments that have come up in the last few days that I maybe didn't catch that'd be cool to answer. So let's scroll through. So the Maximus Prime has said, what is the scale you always use? I watch your channel and you always have a really quirky sound to your playing. Thank you very much, man. The scale I kind of predominantly play in is harmonic minor, which is exactly the same, if you don't know, is exactly the same as the minor scale, but you just sharpen the 7th. So it's a major 7 in a minor scale, and you get that kind of Middle Eastern kind of twang. Nick Jonas has said Dave, totally agree. Callum's asked if I like Marmite, yep. Jazz man, I just love what you play, quite a unique style to my ears. It reminds me a bit of a band called Merry, especially the first track of their album Peep Show. I don't know of that band, so I'll check them out. Nice one. I swear I saw this and almost thought I read Rory McLean, like from Metalocalypse. Lol. So they actually wanted to call that character Rory. They phoned me up and they were like, yeah, we need like a wicked name, and we kind of want yours, and I was like, no way. So they went with Dory. It's quite kind of obvious what they're going for, but okay. here's Guitar Champ. He said, I want to do good content on guitars, amps, etc., but without an audience, it's hard to see the point of doing it. I completely get what you're saying there, but my like response to that, I guess, would be that if you're doing it for the audience, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons, and you should do it because you enjoy it. And if it's not what you enjoy, then go and do something else that you do enjoy, and people will catch on to you enjoying whatever it is that you enjoy, and that's how your audience will grow. So I'd say if that's what you want to be doing, then crack on, have fun, and don't worry about the audience. And yeah, like I say, I think if you're doing it to build an audience, then it's kind of the wrong way round. And then I'd just concentrate on whatever it is that you really enjoy doing, go and do that and have fun doing it, and you'll have fun. So you're the guy who puts in the teacup smashing sound every time. I like you. I like you too, McMod. 7 pancakes across, and you got 7 apples. And 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. 7 7's 49. What's it like to have those sweet curls? It's pretty sweet. Tell us all the dirty jokes that you always cut out. I love you. I love you too, Max. To be completely honest with you guys, there is obviously occasionally there's jokes that I have to cut out because they're just too extreme for YouTube, but generally I don't actually cut out that much. If it's funny, I want to leave it in, so yeah, very, very little of it actually gets cut out. Divide that by pencil. So yeah, that's kind of all the questions that kind of popped out on YouTube to me right now. Hopefully I've kind of covered everything. Apologies if I haven't, but I've had loads of fun doing this and really appreciate you guys like I say, getting involved, asking questions, just making me feel welcome, and hopefully you've got something to take away from this video. I'm going to break down a riff now to teach you guys at the end of the video, so hopefully you guys enjoy that too. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. I've been Rory. Dave? Yeah man, it's Diz. I'm trying to answer this question, I need a bit of help. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to round this video off by breaking down one of the riffs from the last video. I've pulled the Tysko out to play this on just because it's a pretty cool chance for you guys to hear that, and I imagine most people haven't heard these. It's also got the fret markers on, which I know some people were concerned about and should make it easier to see what I'm kind of doing. Obviously my cat is around. She is quite likely to jeopardize this part of the video, but she's super cute as you can see, so we'll just go with it. So yeah, I should also mention I'm drop tuned on the Tysko, and I'm drop tuned to drop C sharp, so you'll need to drop down if you want to play along, and drop down another half step if you want to play with the video. Okay, so 6, you're going to have to jump off now. Yeah, I'll just read it out to you. So, if I have 4 pencils and you have 7 apples, how many pancakes will fit on the roof? Now, I don't know if these are Scotch or American pancakes, or that's a Scotch and American roof. But we do know that there's 4 pencils, 7 apples. This comment was left 3 days ago and 2 people liked it, so there's some numbers. Sweet, so the riff that everyone seemed kind of particularly interested in was at the end of that video, and that sounds like this. played particularly well because I was concentrating on my cat, and I also got an email which you guys probably won't hear this time around, but that went off in the background. So yeah, if I break that down into kind of two halves, there's the chordal like intro section. So that is the kind of foundation of that. You're holding one chord and kind of messing around within that. I'm just barring the 8th fret and extending up on the 12th fret on the middle D with my little finger. And that first bit is all based around that. So you want to hit the, bar the 8th fret, hit the 12th fret, then hit the 8th fret on the A, and then up to the 9th, added into the full chord. So that sounds like this. Then you take that exact same pattern but move from the 9th to the 10th fret. And then back down again. And that just repeats round twice, and then the last two notes I'm holding the 8th fret on the G, and then the 12th fret on the middle D for that kind of semitone clash. Clashes if you play them together. So that's the kind of first section. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Hopefully that makes sense. And then the next section starts on the same chord, and when it shifts down, it's exactly the same shape, but from the 3rd fret extending up to the 7th. So those are kind of the root points. So that beginning bit, you just want to hit the 8th fret on the low D, 12th on the middle D, then chromatically climb up from the 8th fret on the A and hit the 12th fret on the D again. So that played slowly will sound like this. Then from that point you just descend down the 10th, 9th and 8th fret on the A to the 5th fret and hammer on to the 6th, and then finally you hit the 3rd fret on the low D and slide back up to the 8. So that probably sounds a bit confusing, but that will sound like this. Again, really slowly. So up until that point will sound like this. And then from there, that first pattern kind of repeats, climbing up and down the chromatic bit on the A string. All that changes is rather than heading to the 5th fret for the hammer-ons, you just hit the 8th and 12th fret again on the G and D string. So the second half will sound like this. Then from there you slide down to the 3rd fret with the extension on the 7th, and the climb up on the A string here is on the 3rd, 5th and 6th fret with a pull off from the 6th fret on the low D back to the 3rd. So again, that probably sounds a bit confusing, but if I play it through slowly, hopefully it'll make sense. So that will sound like this. And then that pattern repeats again. All that changes is the last two notes, which are the 3rd fret on the G and 7th on the A. So if I play it through slowly, you should hear what's going on. So there's a little kind of slow trill between the 6th and 5th, and then just the 3rd fret, 7th, and then the 3rd fret on the G. So that whole second half played through slowly will sound like this. And from there it just starts up again and just repeats the whole phrase. Sweet, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense and is enough for you guys to take away and learn, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you very much for asking to learn to play it. It's super fun knowing that people enjoy my music and want to get it down, so that's really cool. As I said earlier on in the video, the last thing I wanted this to be was a kind of self-promotional push for me, but it would be kind of stupid for me not to leave links to my social media, so those will be in the description below. If you want to come hang out, that would be awesome. I thought, given that I've taught you guys this and one of the links will be to my Instagram, what might be quite fun is if you guys want to record yourself either playing this, or you write the next section to it, or write something over the top, whatever you want to do, and then tag me in it, which is at Rory_D_McLean, and with the hashtag banana, just because you can, and then the hashtag wicked awesome cool stuff, which I tag all my stuff with. Yeah, I'll pick maybe 10 that I like at the end of the month and send out some plectrums that I've got that have my kind of shark jaw logo on it, just as something to kind of give back. I thought it'd be fun. Okay. So yeah, no pressure, but if you want to do that, then that'd be awesome. Alright, cheers man. Yeah, thanks again for all the cool comments and all the questions, and just for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. I've been Rory. See you, bye.